Sure, absolutely. Well, I'm first of all, thank you to President Crow for this opportunity to come back and represent this school and this university. Thank you, Ray Anderson, for hiring me and giving me and having your faith and your trust in me. All those that were part of the hiring process, Gene Boyd, Ken Lanfear, Don Bakke, and Graham Rossini. Thank you guys for believing in me and giving me this shot. Putting on this jersey for me is very, very special. Not only to me, but for my family, my wife, Lisa, my kids, my 4 daughters, Natalie, Ava, Layla, Sydney. We're Sun Devils in this house. We bleed maroon and gold. I bled maroon and gold since I was a kid, wanted to come to Tempe and play for the Sun Devils. And when I was a 17-year-old kid, came down to Tempe and put this jersey on for the first time, I knew I was representing something very special. There's a tradition like no other. It's arguably the best, greatest tradition in college baseball. Built by those before me and the great Bobby Winkles and Jim Brock. It laid the groundwork for such a tremendous program and a tradition like no other. And I knew when I put this jersey on, I was representing that and representing this community, this school, and this program. And for me, it was just those 3 years that I got to play for one of my mentors and favorite people, Pat Murphy. It went by in a blink of an eye. And I remember the day I had to. I signed to go play professionally. There was a big part of me that didn't want to do it because I knew I was leaving something so special behind. Playing for something greater than yourself, playing for a program that cares and a tradition like no other. It was kind of an emotional day that I didn't think I'd ever get to put the Sun Devil jersey back on again. Fast forward here 20 some odd years later, and this opportunity presented itself. It's been surreal. It's been a dream come true. I cannot think of any other place in the country that I would go. This is where I would love to be for the rest of my life. I'm a Sun Devil, man. This is the best tradition, the best place that I want to be. When you look top to bottom at just the overall atmosphere, from a standpoint of former players, alumni, great fan support, donors, people that really get behind this program. It's been coming out in droves the past couple of days with text messages, and people have heard, and man, the overwhelming support for me has been tremendous. And for that, I thank everybody for that. This new chapter is now, it's not about me anymore. It's about these kids and these young men in the locker room and these kids that are coming forward after this group and from beyond. It's my job to create a culture and create an atmosphere where these kids get better and improve. And that's my goal going in, is to create an environment that championship cultures create championships. And you can't build Rome in a day, but I think at some point in time the foundation is set, the groundwork is laid in this tradition, in this program. And for me, it's a matter of creating that culture inside the locker room and get these guys believing that they're good and they can do things. And let's be honest, this program is not for everybody. It's not going to be a cakewalk going through it, but at the end of the day, my job is to prepare these young men for a career beyond ASU athletics, if that's what they choose to do, or if something else in a world where they're ready to take on the world and be successful in the everyday world. So again, for me, this is just the opportunity of a lifetime to come back and put these colors on and wear this jersey again. I couldn't be more excited, couldn't be happier. And I'm just really, really anxious to get started. Met with our team this morning via Zoom and expressed my desire to meet with them individually here today and tomorrow, and find out where we're at and what changes need to be made and how we're going to move forward. But just again, couldn't be more blessed, couldn't be more honored to wear this jersey and lead this program.
All right, Jeff Metcalf, go ahead and lead us off.
Willie, congratulations. This love you have for ASU goes way back. I know there's pictures of you wearing ASU gear when you're really little. Can you just talk about that and how that developed, and then just how you've carried it forward all this time to where you're taking this job now? Absolutely.
It's just when I was a kid, my oldest sister came to school here at Arizona State in the late 80s. And she would always send Arizona State baseball gear up because I was obviously a baseball nut when I was a kid. And my father took me down to visit her, and we went and watched a game here at out at Packard Stadium. And there was a guy by the name of John Finn that hit a couple of home runs that game against UCLA. And man, just something stuck with me that I'm a Sun Devil. I want to be here. I want to play at this place one day. This is like a dream. And the day I started getting recruited by him, it was one of those things that was very surreal. And I knew that's where I wanted to play my college career. And like I said, the 3 years that I got an opportunity to play here in the Maroon and Gold were the best 3 years of my life. I was fortunate to play 14 years in the major leagues. And I can honestly say without a doubt, the best 3 years of my baseball career were here at ASU. That specialness that this school has, and that Murph had created that environment, that this place is special. And I bought into that. I loved it, and I continue to love it. So for this opportunity to give back and hopefully instill this passion into these young men that are going to be going through the program, I can't wait to give back and pour the knowledge of what I've learned over the last years back into them and give back to this program that's been so good to me.
Mark McClune.
Hey, Willie, congratulations. Hey, just curious with, I'm sure you had a lot of options, pro, college. I know ASU's a special place for you, but why was the college game appealing over making this splash in pro ball?
Well, to be honest, for me, there's really only one place I would do this, and that's here. If any other college called or any other professional managerial spot came open, I wouldn't do it. This is the only place I would do it. And I'm that passionate about this place to where, I love the college game. I was kind of a college player all throughout my major league career as well. I believe in doing little things right, playing the game with a passion, with a little bit of edge. And, for me, that's the game that I enjoy and love. And I think when you're dealing with kids that are 18 to 21 years old, you can have a bigger influence on that age group. I think they're moldable still. And those are type of kids that'll listen and really, become sponges and listen. At least that's how I was. And I think I have a lot of knowledge to give back, and I'm passionate about giving back and pouring this into these kids as they move forward, to equip them with their careers moving forward.
Raymond.
Hey, Willie, welcome. And your position is kind of unique in that most coaches enter kind of a rebuilding program or rebuilding roster. This roster, I think it's fair to say, will be one of the most talented in the country next year. How will you handle the challenge of being a first-year coach, but also being expected to win right away with this roster?
Well, I think, winning's always been expected here at ASU. And so that doesn't change. But for me, my belief is that if we create a good culture in that clubhouse and create accountability, doing things the right way, the wins are going to follow. You create good young men that do things the right way and play the game the right way. Don't get caught up in the wins and losses. The wins will take care of themselves. But I think there's no substitute for preparation, and there's no substitute for mindset. And those are the two things that I'm going to bring to these guys, that we're going to prepare, and we're going to have a good mindset when we do things and pay attention to detail. And I think the wins will follow. The good news is there is some talent in this clubhouse with this organization and this program. My job is to get the most out of that talent as possible.
Leo.
Hi, Willie. Welcome back to ASU. I was wondering if you could go into, sorry, I got a phone ringing behind me. I was wondering if you could go into a little bit how playing professionally for 14 years kind of has helped you in terms of this role, and how you think you can kind of influence a lot of younger baseball players who are kind of hoping to follow your footsteps professionally.
Well, I think you learn, from your teammates, your coaches, your managers. And I've been fortunate enough to play with a lot of good ones, play for a lot of good managers, and learn a lot from them as a player, but also the teammates that I've played with over the years that are, just incredible, superior athletes. To not only myself, but, top of their game, superstars, the Paul Goldschmidt types, the Edgar Martinez types, those guys that you sit and learn and you pick their brain and how they go about their everyday work ethic and their life and how they approach the game every day. And you just feed off of that and learn. And I've been fortunate to have some very, very good teammates over the years that I've learned from. And, all this knowledge is stored up that I just can't wait to give it back. I can't wait to pour it back into these kids and use the examples, not only from a physical standpoint, but a mental standpoint. I've had my struggles. I've been probably put in every situation possible in the game of baseball. And this game's going to humble you one way or another. Don't care who you are. Don't care what the name on the back of the jersey is. The game will humble you. And I have a lot of experience on digging myself out of those holes, from a mental standpoint and continuing to press forward and fight through adversity. And again, that's just one of the several things I hope to be able to guide these young men in their quest to becoming a great program.
Hode.
Willie, I got to imagine that baseball recruiting has to be the most challenging maybe out of any college sports. You always have to make that determination. Is this guy going to go pro? How much time do I invest? Do you feel that with your resume as somebody who not only played in the majors, but also played here at ASU for 3 years, do you think that brings I would say, valid perspective, a sense of credibility when you talk to these recruits from here on out?
I think so. I think it does. And here's the deal. I'm living proof that this model works. I went to Arizona State. I played 3 years there, got drafted out of Arizona State and made it to the big leagues. So I am living proof that an average at best talented guy can go through this model and make it for a long time at the highest level. And for me, there's something to be said for that. I'm not a 5-tool player that busts the doors off of talent. I'm a guy that had a good work ethic and a right mentality with average tools, and I made it work for a long time. And I think between understanding what the college game can bring to somebody, as well as what the pro game, the positives and negatives of both, and being that the college route, in my opinion, is far superior, especially at a younger age, to help guys mature. I think that'll definitely help in the recruiting process. But in addition to that, the staff that I've have plans on bringing with me are guys that are certainly just going to add to that ability to teach these young men and improve them and equip them for not only what we expect to do successfully here at ASU, but beyond that in their pro careers.
Michael.
Yeah, Willie, obviously, congratulations on being named head coach. To piggyback kind of off the recruiting too, I mean, it's one of those things where, do you feel that you can reach out to other alum, obviously, maybe to help land a recruit? I mean, the list is, like you said, long and very distinguished of players that have went on and played in the maroon and gold. But do you feel maybe taking that avenue too might help sell the program even a little bit more?
Listen, I'd be foolish not to. We got 111 former MLB guys that went through Arizona State, and our ties run very deep all throughout this country. And that's part of my plan in coming back here is first of all, I want all those guys and I want all of our alums to feel welcome coming back to our program, because that's what makes Arizona State so special. But we have a lot of ties and connections out there, from scouts to former players to, people all over this country that have connections. And I believe you got to utilize those. We're one big program. We're one big family. And for me to not utilize those connections that I have would be foolish on my part. At times, I think that, we'll find out that maybe that gets overwhelming with everyone that's got somebody that wants to come here. I get that. But on the other hand, we have to use these connections. It's going to take everybody contributing. I know this isn't going to be an easy job. This is going to be very difficult, but on the same token, yes, I definitely look forward to utilizing the resources that we have and this program has given us.
Nicholas.
Hey, Coach Bloomquist, first off, congrats on getting the position. You said that you wanted to build a championship culture. What sort of character traits do you believe fits in that championship culture and the players and coaches you're going to want to bring onto your staff and team?
Accountability, honesty, hard work, toughness, just to name a few. But you can, like I said, you can make it a long way on mentality, doing little things the right way. Again, I'm big on teammates, holding teammates accountable. They're not, we're going to have 3 or 4 coaches on staff, with 30, give or take 30 players. We can't see everything. And what the greatest thing that I believe is that we all be playing for the common goal to be as best as we can be as a team. Listen, this is us. So if someone's not doing something right, we need to hold each other accountable on that and do it the right way. And I think when you start breeding a culture that the expectations are to do things the right way and don't waste my time, I'm not going to waste yours. We're going to go out and do the things right, and it's going to be tough mentally. We're going to put you through the ringer a little bit. We're going to toughen you up. We're going to put you in good physical shape. All those things start festering and create a culture that's that's a winning culture, and you expect to win and you expect to do the little things right. And I think ultimately that's how we're going to bring ourselves to a program that we play a brand of baseball that Sun Devil Nation's proud of.
Cole Bradley.
Hey, Willie, Cole Bradley, WCSN. Oh shoot, can you hear me? Sorry. Cole Bradley, WCSN. Just wanted to ask you, since obviously as a guy who spent 14 years in the big leagues as sort of a utility player, this team has been defined by its versatility, I feel like, especially this past year. How exciting is it going to be, knowing that you have a lot of options, a lot of places where you can put multiple different players on any given night?
Well, I think that certainly having flexibility makes the manager or coach's job easier. You're not stuck into one lineup or one situation, one move that you can make mid game or late game or whatever. You can bounce guys around, and that certainly helps. We've started scratching the surface on watching some video on our players, and there is some good talent. So, and I think there's some guys that definitely have some flexibility to move to some different positions, which are going to create opportunities for us to be better. So I've always been a big advocate of being able to be flexible and being able to play different positions, especially as you move on in your career. That's how I made a living for a long time, was being able to do that. And if there's a need for a team that day, I was able to fill it. And so I think flexibility is key, and I'm always about having flexibility.
Hunter.
Hi, Willie. Hunter Hippel, CronkiteSports.com and WCSN. I'm curious, you mentioned that Pat Murphy, your head coach, while you were at ASU, is considered a big mentor of yours. Looking back on it, is there a lesson that you maybe learned from him during your time here that you're excited to really apply to this ASU roster for years to come?
I can't, the whole thing Pat Murphy taught me. So, I could be here for an hour talking about how much Pat Murphy means to me as a human and as a coach. But I think, the main thing that he taught me here, if I had to narrow it down into one thing, was just your attitude and your mindset. You can do something great if you believe it. If you doubt yourself, chances are you're not going to succeed. You got to have the belief in yourself. You got to have the mindset that is second to none. You're not going to be denied. And if there was, kind of one specific thing that he taught me that helped me in my career, was to fight through adversity and believe in myself. Like I said, I could go on for hours about Murph. He's one of my favorite people and one of my biggest supporters in this venture. So, Pat Murphy is an incredible human. So I'm very thankful for him and being in my life.
Gareth.
Hey, Willie, congratulations again on the position. Jason Kelly and Mike Cooley, I'm sure you've had a chance to maybe get to know them a little bit, guys that were on the past coaching staff. And you mentioned a little bit just of how you want your coaching staff to be. Are those two guys, members that you may want to see for your staff going forward, or is that something you're still evaluating?
Still evaluating. I've had a chance to talk to all 3 assistant coaches, and they're all great guys. I know Ben and Mike. Ben, I probably knew the best out of those 3, just on a personal level. all great individuals, all great baseball guys. We're still evaluating and kind of narrowing that down. But certainly there are some candidates from the previous staff that I would be foolish not to take a look at.
Kirsten.
Hey, Willie, Kirsten Susel, 12 News. Wondering what your experience was like working with Derek Hall, maybe how encouraging he was throughout this whole process. And although it was a wildly different role, if there are things that you learned, during your time with the Diamondbacks that might actually help you as you take on this new coaching role here at ASU.
Well, working for Derek was awesome. He's another one of those A+ individuals that just knows how to organize and how to do things. And I don't know how he gets everything done in a day. He just has a million things going, but he seems to execute everything at an A+ level all the time. And so just kind of being by his side and watching how he would handle his day-to-day operations and handle it with class and ease and smoothness, but yet quickly and efficiently. I'm finding out right now that I got a lot of work to do, and I'm going to have to be very efficient when I do it, in order to get done what I need to get done. But he's just a tremendous leader. And I think if I took one thing from him, it's just on how to lead people and how to treat people the right way. And that's I think when you look at a quality of a coach, you want, or as a parent, when you're wanting someone to lead your own child, you want them to treat them with respect and treat them the right way. And that's what I hope to do.
Chris Cartman.
Hey, Willie, Chris Cartman, son of a source. You obviously have a deep reservoir of knowledge about ASU baseball and baseball in general. Who, if anyone, will you talk to as part of the process of expediting your transition to being a manager? Have you already had conversations like that? And what's that process like?
Well, I think there's, like I said, there's several people that have reached out, past, current Sun Devil alums, all those type of people that are willing to assist me in kind of this and what's going on. Again, I've leaned a lot on Murph in this situation because he's been here, and he's a guy I keep in touch with regularly anyways. And there's, former coaches that have been in college baseball that I lean on. And there's been several people reach out, but there's a fine line between on keeping it somewhat under wraps until it was announced officially, to now where I'm able to just go and unleash the reins and go, and then now I can dive into it and understand what I need to do moving forward.
Start taking the last couple of questions. Jordan.
Hi, Willie. Jordan Spurgeon from Sports 360 AZ. You touched a lot about your time here at ASU and how much it meant to you. Do you have a specific story or a specific memory that really stands out to you that maybe you think on every once in a while?
I think there were so many great memories here. I'd be lying if I didn't say that the worst memory is what drives me. And that's the one where we got so close to winning a national championship against USC in 1998, and that stings. It still stings to me this day. And for me, there's unfinished business there. And as part of the reason why I'm back here, or why I wanted to come back here, is that we set out a job to do, and an expectation that this fan base has and our alumni have, and we got close, but we didn't quite get it done. And for me, that stings still a little bit. And I'd be lying if I said I didn't have some unfinished business when it came to that. We got a long way to go to even start talking about that, but all the great memories I had, that one in itself, even though it's a bad memory, is the one that fuels me. But as far as other good memories, there's so many top to bottom with the teammates that I had. I think the biggest thing I took away from here was just the fact of knowing you're going to play every night with a band of brothers that were arm in arm, that kind of were playing for the same common goal. No one was out there playing for themselves. They were out there playing for this university. And to me, that was what was so special about ASU. And again, if I can instill that in these young men, that you look to your left, you look to your right, those guys got your back, and we're going out there to battle against whoever we're playing that night, and we're on the same page. I think you have something special brewing, and that'll be the challenge that I have to create in that environment.
Jeff? I think you're muted, Jeff.
Sorry, yeah. I wanted to ask you about the influence of your father on your baseball career and just your life in general, and then just how you think all of your baseball playing experience sort of trumps the lack of coaching experience.
Well, my father was everything to me. He was the guy that gave me the foundation of the love of the game. Taught me the fundamentals of the game of baseball. He introduced me to obviously every sport that I played growing up, but there was definitely a separate and special love for the game of baseball. He was a master at creating challenges for me and kind of planting that seed that, you can do this, but can you do it a little bit better? Can you do things a little bit better, and to never accept mediocrity? If you're going to do something, strive to be the best at it. And, my father was tough on me, but it was tough love, and I wouldn't have wanted it any other way. And I know for a fact that he is smiling right now with this opportunity that I have. So there will be something spiritual with him, watching and supporting what we're doing here at ASU. Even though he was a diehard Husky fan back in the day, he's up there wearing maroon and gold today.
Raymond.
Willie, as a former player and close follower of the program through the years, do you come in already having a relationship with some of the players? And then to follow up on that, can you share some details from the meeting you had today?
Well, for me, I've just been a fan the past since I got done playing professionally. I've come back and watched ASU baseball, and strictly as just from a fan's perspective, and not necessarily an evaluation perspective, just kind of an enjoying day at the ballpark with my kids or whatever, and just watching ASU baseball. Through that, the previous staff was very gracious in having me come down at times and talk with the kids and show them a thing or two here and there. And for me, that was invaluable. Just kind of getting to know some of these guys has been great. But now that the relationship, I guess, has changed now to being their coach, that'll be a great dynamic where actually I kind of have the reins to show them how to do things. So there are definitely a couple players that I do have some relationships with, from a friendship standpoint, but like I said, the dynamics of that will obviously have to change. And I'm sorry, what was the second half of your question?
Just to share some details from the meeting you had with the team this morning.
Basically I just told them that I wanted to introduce myself and speak with each of them individually afterwards. But, the message was that, there is enough talent in this clubhouse, but things are going to change a little bit on how we do things. And there needs to be a mindset. There is a new era, there's a new chapter. And so whatever has happened in the past, we're turning the page on and we're moving forward. And, things are going to be different. And I gave them, the reference that I've been through a lot of coaching changes in my life, some good, some bad. And I don't know, ultimately, I don't know their thoughts individually on things, but that's just part of the game when you're around it long enough. You're going to have coaching changes and how to deal with it. And I get they're young men, early in their careers, and this is all strange and new for them. But rest assured, I tried to give them a calming piece that myself and the guys that were bringing in around me, something special's brewing, and we're going to have an opportunity for each and every one of them to get better and create something special here.
Last two questions, starting with Nicholas.
Hey, Nicholas Odell for the Wintel again. Obviously, we mentioned the '98 run, the last ASU team to get to the College World Series finals. What would it mean for you to lead the ASU program back to Omaha, a place where the Sun Devils haven't been since 2010?
I'm sorry, you kind of cut out there for a second. Can you repeat that?
Yeah, sure. What would it mean for you to lead the Sun Devils back to Omaha, a place that the Sun Devils have not been since 2010?
Well, I mean, obviously it would mean the world. You know, I understand the expectations of our fan base, of our alumni. And, you know, those expectations don't scare me. Those are my expectations as well. And matter of fact, I probably have higher expectations than anybody else. But on the same token, getting to Omaha is it's not easy, you know, especially with the parity in the game of baseball and college baseball nowadays. It's going to be a difficult task, but one that when we arrive there at some point, it's going to be very special. And I'm anxious to get to work in order to start building the blocks to get there. And hopefully we can do that for our fan base and for our alums. And, you know, I look forward to it when that day comes.
Last question, Chris Cartman.
Willie, you're joining this elite fraternity, Bobby Winkles, Jim Brock, of course, Pat. Did Pat talk a lot about those guys that preceded him when you were a player, or what does it say, just thinking about just the legacy of ASU baseball going all the way back to those days?
Well, I think absolutely. And that was something that was talked about when I was a player there. And that's something I'll talk about, is that, listen, this program goes a lot deeper and a lot further than any of us really remember. And the foundation that was built from those great coaches, Bobby Winkles, Jim Brock, Murph, and you know, the players that have played before us, they're the ones that created this tradition and created this specialness of Arizona State and the mystique of ASU. I mean, look at the guys that we've run through here. I mean, it's crazy. Bonds, Alvin Davis, Odeby McDowell, Floyd Bannister. We can go on and on and on. But those are the guys that created this tradition, and it's our job as players and coaches now is to carry that torch moving forward. And you know, along the way, we'll send out some superstars as well, and continue to keep this tradition going. But I think it's foolish not to look back and appreciate those guys that have built the legacy prior to us getting here, and understand that it is our job to continue carrying that torch moving forward.